Peace, peace, peace. Hotep. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. Alafia. Islam. Que pasa. How y'all doing? Power to the people. Power to the people. God bless. Been contemplating a lot of things, but mainly something hit me as far as being good, or what it means to be good. God is good, right? The Most High is good. Lord Amari is good. Heritage. So, if God is good, and we find ourselves doing ungodly things, it makes us bad, right? Or it makes us doing bad at the time we're doing bad. Now, if we're consistently doing bad, and it outweighs the good that we're doing, then we can officially say that we promote bad. We're about bad. We're bad boy. You know what I'm saying? We're a bad girl. You know, or however you want to put it. But yet, we go back and forth between both worlds. Because at the end of the day, guess what we have concluded? We're going to do what we want, whether it's good or bad. You know what that means? It means you lack morals. You know what I'm saying? You lack a discernment or even a concern between what's right and wrong. You know what I'm saying? Morals. I'm trying to think of that first word. Let me see something. I think it's discernment. It might be something else. Just a minute. Let me go here. And then no, I won't mess with that. Let's go here and let me put this in the search box real quick. MORALS. Come on. Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Morals are principles or values that guide behavior. They say here are some examples of morals that most people can agree on. Telling the truth, not hurting others' feelings, fair play, hard work, paying a fair price, respect for others, doing unto others as you would have done to yourself, forgiving others. You know, I'm realizing as I'm reading this list Just a minute. I'm gonna see if there's some more. No, that's it. That even though it's saying that, it's powers, it's levels of society that people operate on, that the majority see on a daily or weekly, a monthly basis, or even consistently, whether in the news, whether on social media or somewhere, they're rapper, singer, entertainer, NBA, NFL, whatever, right? And we don't see these people operating or behaving with morals. But yet, these are the people that a lot of people look up to and are influenced by. Okay? Therefore, we take on, the people take on, or society take on, the thinking and the behavior of people that they look up to, that they value, that they respect. Okay? Which is an oxymoron, because how can you respect somebody else when you lack respect for yourself? This is the confusion that some of us have found out or discovered that our people are in, that I myself was once a part of, you know what I'm saying? And to some degree may get caught up in, you know what I'm saying? Because of lack of knowledge or lack of awareness, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't see everything, and when you moving, on a daily, I'm tempted, you know what I'm saying? And I slide off my square. I respond in ways that I later regret, or I might come to the conclusion that I could have handled that a little better. You see what I'm saying? But see, that's my whole point. This is something that I do, self-correction, okay? But I'm trying to inspire others who are having it difficult maintaining in life because they may not have the knowledge or understanding, you know what I'm saying, or even the wisdom, okay? So this is what is required. You have to come to a level of awareness of why certain things is going on in your life, or why you feeling a certain kind of way, or why you vibrating a certain kind of way, and why you behave a certain kind of way. And as you come into understanding this, there are certain things that you must improve to free yourself from the discomfort, the uneasiness, because some of us want peace. I mean, truly, some of us want peace. And the ones that want peace, they seek peace. And they gonna have peace because they know they gotta work on it from within. Okay? It starts within. All your power comes from within. You go within and you sincere and you work, because they've been playing games. People been playing games. And the games, man, it's so pathetic that they got the people thinking in a certain kind of way where it don't bring about the results other than a whole lot of talking. A whole lot of talking, That's why I ain't like all that singing in the church. You know what I'm saying? Just arouse up a whole lot of feelings. It ain't spirit, Spirit is when you tap into the word and you understand the word, the root of that word. When you go to the root. Now, the music plays a part, the singing plays a part because they have words. But y'all just doing the singing part. Y'all not getting into the word. That's a part of the song to understand the essence. That's what they not teaching. And you don't know because you're being programmed by what you see others do. And you are influenced by what others do. It's a proven fact. Ever since you came out the womb, you've been imitating what you see others do. It's a habit that you haven't gotten away from, majority of you. You know what I'm saying? You learn and you do based on what you see. That's how we talk. That's why the old saying, do as I say and not as I do, was buffoonery. It was foolishness. It was somebody trying to sound like they was intelligent, but they was dumb. You know, because of who they was talking to. You can't tell a child to do as I say and not as I do when it's in the child's nature to do what it sees. Because it's in the child's nature to want to be just like its creator. Just like his mother. Just like his father. Just like his guardian. Just like the person that raises them. Just like the person that feeds them. That clothes them. That takes care of them on a daily. Because those are signs that you care. That you love. You know, that you mean me well. That influence is so great with a child. So it's important for us to go back and see that we was not cultivated properly. We weren't given right knowledge. We asked the questions in the church. They didn't give us the answers as children. When we was at our purest, when we was trying to teach the parent who have gotten away from God and professing to be about God, but didn't want to admit it to the child when they knew the child understood that they was a liar. It probably wasn't intentional. You've been a liar. But yet it was intentional because you knew deep down that some of the things you were saying wasn't right. And you didn't go and fix it. You just kept pretending. Because that's all we ever done was pretend. Living in this society over here. You know what I'm saying? But we was also struggling. We was also trying to identify. You know? Because that was the state of mind that we was put in through following a fake authority. A false authority. You see what I'm saying? A wicked authority. It wasn't God. Y'all agree with that? So stop playing with your mind and tell yourself the truth. You've been led by the devil your whole life. Except those who have discovered the truth. Because they sought it. And God blessed them with that knowledge. With that wisdom, with that understanding. And on top of all this, until you accept that within yourself, that what you've been through and how you've been lied to, how you've been misguided, whether it's intentional or unintentional. Because our parents didn't have the truth, a lot of them. A lot of us was born out of lust and not love. Our parents was just fucking. You wasn't even intended to come. But it was a greater purpose. You know what I'm saying? Behind our parents, their parents, their parents, all the way down, including us that have children. You know what I'm saying? Which I just lost my thoughts saying too many parents. I forgot what I was saying. But I was making a point somewhere around coming to that realization that ignorance, you know what I'm saying? That when our parents got together, they didn't plan to have a child. You see what I'm saying? They probably hadn't been in a relationship longer than 6 months. Better yet, a year. To invest in bringing you out properly. Not out of lust, but out of love. Out of high standards. out of high values, out of morals and principles. See, it's the fact that I'm getting to. Because when you travel down this road and you able to face this reality, so much is revealed to you. That's why a lot of y'all are not blessed. Because you're not ready for the truth. You're not ready to open your heart and let that love come in. Because in order to receive love, you got to be pure. To be pure, you got to face the impurities that's about you so you can clean them up, so you can be the best that you can be. So until you get to the root of the problem, instead of playing around with the devil's toys, trying to figure things out, you won't find that truth that wakes you up, that brings you to the realization of what's really going on, who you really are, how things are really supposed to be, and who is really in charge. Because the authority that you think is the authority is not the authority. You are the authority. You've always been the authority. You just ain't always known. Because you don't know your history. You don't know your past. What mind of a man will come to the realization that he has a mission, you know what I'm saying, and not go back before he attempts to move forward? You see what I'm saying? In other words, even when you start a business, part of your responsibility is to learn about the history of other businesses and learn about how they were successful, about the mistakes they made. You know what I'm saying? That allowed them to get on the hump to be multi-million-dollar companies or multi-billion-dollar companies. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to treat a business that way to assure that you are successful, that you make it over that 5-year mark, as they say, when you start to really make a profit, you have to do your research. So it's the same way with you. Before you move forward, you got to go back, because you are made up of the past. You know what I'm saying? You are made up of your ancestors. So the mistakes they made are in you. So you're going to try to move forward making the same mistakes they're going to make, because that's what you're prone to, until you acknowledge what mistakes they made to produce what you are. And if you see that you can be better, you can be greater, and you are a product of your ancestors, then you got to connect with them, because they're trying to communicate with you. They're trying to make sure you don't make the same mistakes that they made. But you're not listening. You're not tapped in. Why? Because you've been programmed to believe certain things. You've been indoctrinated to believe certain things. And in this information that they gave you, you lock onto it because it's your guide. Therefore, it's your God. But you notice that your guide don't allow you to go so far. It's like it got a cap on it. Why haven't you realized that? That you ain't got it like other people? You see what I'm saying? As if something is wrong with you. And if that's the case, why don't you have the courage to reflect on yourself? Not reflect, reflect meaning look at yourself. Look at your reflection. Look at what you're doing. Look at how you think. Look at what you're producing. So it's like auditing a company. Go in there and look at the records, just make sure everything balances out. If they can do that to a company, to keep a company balanced, you know what I'm saying, to keep the company right, to keep the company legit and keep it legal, why can't you invest the same thing in you? and get you right, get your life right. Because there's so much to get right. Because right now there's so much that's going wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're not elevating you're not elevating or evolving into your highest potential. Because you're greater than what you're demonstrating right now. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we've been on this earth, we should have accomplished a lot more. And if not, why? Is it justified? What are the circumstances? Have you just woke up? Have you just started your spiritual journey? You know what I'm saying? Are you just going through your new beginning? I'm going through a new beginning. You see what I'm saying? But as long as I'm going through a new beginning and I am beginning and I'm doing what it is I need to do, then I can look forward, you know what I'm saying, to being successful. I can look forward to manifesting my greatness because I'm working towards it, you know. The key is the root. It's the root. Go back when you was a child. Oh my goodness. That's what that means. At least to me, where it says in the lesson, who remember himself a boy. Reflection is the business of man. A sense of his state is his first duty. And I think out of that say, who remember himself a boy. In other words, go back and analyze yourself as a child and understand what went wrong then. What could have been done from your perception now. What could your parents done to make you turn out better than you did? And when you come to what ideals or concepts, you know what I'm saying, that could have been done, you can take that and do it to yourself now. And then once you do it to yourself and you see the benefits, you see the outcome, then you can turn and do the same thing to your children. We can't keep handing down the curse, family. We got to wake up to this curse that the scriptures told you about. The one that's handed down from the Father to the Son. Expressed in that way because back then there was very significance in the man, with the man. In the side that we live in, the man don't have that kind of value. Not in our community. And we got to understand, why is that? What went wrong there? Why don't I respect my daddy like I respect my mama? Why don't I respect my granddaddy like I respect my grandmama? You know what I'm saying? Why don't I respect my man? Hold up. I think I said it wrong because the example that was great. Okay, yeah. Why don't I respect my man like the respect I get from my man? You see what I'm saying? Something transpired in our family structure. Oh, y'all think it's normal to live in a household without a man? That's an imbalance. That's a defect. A defective home. You know what I'm saying? And y'all think that's normal because that's how you was brought up. How you think why daddy wasn't living with you? You know what I'm saying? You ever think about that? Most of y'all. That's because mama had a problem with him. See, they had problems that they never solved. They kept stuff going. And we were stuck in the middle. And some of y'all still going through that same example that your parents went through, your great-grandparents went through, and that's the curse you keep handing down. Bad examples. Acting out of your ego. Excessive pride. You know, which is you want so much value to be given to you, but you're not willing to give the same value that you expect from other people. There's a war going on in heaven. And only you can make peace within that war. Because you're part of the war. It's time for peace, fam. Not the word peace, running your mouth saying I'm peaceful. It's learning what peace is and then practicing it, making it a part of your life, getting still, because peace is at ease, not riled up. At ease, calm, cool, collected. Sometimes you got to take a deep breath to relax, to be cool. You know what I'm saying? To slow your thoughts down, because hot-headed, you get to moving too fast. To be disrespectful, you got to vibrate too fast, because your thoughts is going at a high speed. So therefore, you ain't giving yourself time to think about your next move. But if you calm down, you be still. Don't be quick to make no decisions. Don't be quick to speak. You give yourself time to figure it out. You give yourself time to analyze the first thought, analyze the second thought, analyze the third thought, and some of us need to analyze. It's been advised by some wise men and women that we think 20 times before we speak. When I was told that, I'm like, 20 times? Which lets me know I didn't have the patience at that time. I couldn't imagine 20 times I got to think before I speak. And it's like a lot of discipline for some people. But discipline like that, you have to build up to. You know what I'm saying? It's like going up some steps that you don't want to walk up. You don't feel like going up them steps. But you got to set your mind to take the first step. And as I keep taking one step, I'm going to eventually get there. Because technically, when you think like that, when you think that you don't want to do something because of what it consists of, you allow the thought of it to defeat you before you actually do it. Because most of the time when you push yourself to do something, what happens? You do it. So it's a lack of willpower. It's a lack of something in your mind. And you put that in your mind. So you got to stop putting things in your mind that hinders you from accomplishing what you will. How you do that? By telling yourself, instead of telling yourself, I don't feel like doing something, you can do this. Even though I don't feel like doing it, I know I need to do it because I need to do this and I need to do that. So I'm going to get up and do that. Why? Because I need to do it. It's like being self-motivated. Don't keep looking for love outside yourself. Don't keep looking for attention outside yourself. Don't keep looking for what you need outside yourself. Don't keep looking for what you want outside yourself. Because you give your power away, because when the person don't give it to you, now you're disappointed. So you set yourself up for this disappointment because you look for it in somebody else. You gave them the power to reject you. You gave them the power to tell you no. But if you ask yourself, you rely on yourself, you ain't going to tell yourself no. You're going to give yourself what you asked for. So stay focused on you, so you get your desired results every time. But if you don't, you can't blame nobody else. Because at the end of the day, you knew you had the power to accomplish whatever you set your mind to. And that's what you need to start doing, setting your mind. I know you weren't taught this. That's why you got to go through the struggle of practicing something that you're not used to, that your brain don't have no immediate memory of. Okay? Because you was programmed and raised a certain way, indoctrinated a certain way. But once you come to learn that that's not enough, you got to bring in something new. And anytime you bring something new in, there's conflict. But you got to go through that conflict in order for the new to dominate the old. It's like me, my whole being, I'm new. Who I am today ain't how my friends knew me. how my family knew me back then. You know, how people in general knew me. So when it comes to Merle, people got to deal with a new version. They don't get the old version. And I ran into people before that told me, man, I don't like this new Merle Bay. I want the old Merle. You know what I'm saying? I want the old Merle back. No, he's dead. The old Merle is deceased. The new Merle Bay has resurrected. You know what I'm saying? A new being in Christ, as they say. You know, new being in life, new being in this existence, in this world. You know what I'm saying? New being within myself. But it takes courage. It takes determination. It takes sincerity. It takes a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? To overcome the old to bring in the new. But that is the real job that we have when we come in this life. You know what I'm saying? To fight through the BS that we've been taught as we was younger. Because we often knew that mama didn't know what she was talking about. Daddy didn't know what he was talking about. You know what I'm saying? In so many situations. You know what I'm saying? But we still love them, right? As we were supposed to. But we could have done more through speaking and teaching them what's right. Because when you speak, it's an energy, it's a vibration. And if it's truth, it has the power to penetrate anybody's mind. And when you speak the truth, trust me, people, they receive it. They receive it. They gonna let you know they received it. You know what I'm saying? That's like your prayer. You tell some truth to your prayer, a lot of times they retaliate against your butt. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might get a butt whooping for talking back. It ain't the fact that you talk back because you talked back before and then get a butt whooping. It's just what you said that penetrated their mind, that offended them. You know what I'm saying? Like, who you get the nerve to be telling me about me? And some mothers would tell you that. You know what I'm saying? You know, but there's a lot of psychological manipulation that we was victim of. You know what I'm saying? Because our parents didn't realize what they was doing. And it boiled down to they was practicing black magic. You know what I'm saying? Because we was taught black magic in the schools. See, y'all don't know that. Through the English language. Because it is a spell language. And when you just get into that, you'll come to learn, man, we lived a life like that and didn't even see it. There's different levels to life. You stuck in the physical. Remember I broke down the 3 levels? The physical, the mental, and the spiritual. The physical level is what the majority are on. And that's also considered 120 degrees of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Which is a part of the 360-degree full circle of life. Okay? So if you call up in the physical, meaning the things you see, you touch, you see what I'm saying? You know, then that's all you can comprehend. Because you know how they said, I believe if I see it. That was a limitation you put on yourself. Because a lot of things that you can't see are real. You breathe in air, don't you? Can you see the air? No, you can't. You see what I'm saying? A lot of things that's godly, you know what I'm saying, that's spiritual in their essence, but have a manifestation because air you can feel. You know what I'm saying? So you can sense it, but you can't see it. Okay? So in other words, you can't exercise all your senses on things. Okay? So therefore, to relate with air, you got to use a different sense other than the eyes. Okay? And it's like some things that you can't see and you can't hear, but you can smell. You see what I'm saying? See, y'all never think about this. Y'all never think about the gifts that you was born with, how powerful your senses are, how powerful the sight is. You know what I'm saying? Even being able to see with a third eye beyond what the physical eyes can see. But the physical eyes, once it grabs hold to the physical, which is a manifestation of the spiritual, it processes and it activates your spirit to where you can see that physical thing on a higher level. It's kind of like looking at a tree. Okay? You got the base of the tree that goes up, and you got the limbs, you got the leaves. You see what I'm saying? Okay, that's the tree. But yet, there's something deeper in the tree. You know what I'm saying? Because the tree itself, what we see, comes from the roots, right? The same way if you go to plant a seed, because everything comes from a seed. That's why you got to go back to the history. You can't just deal with what you see. And that's why all y'all ones that holler about what y'all see is what y'all get. You know what I'm saying? Well, understand that people want more than what they see. Okay? Because you're more than what we see with our physical eye. But you don't understand that about yourself. That's why you limit yourself when you say you get what you see. Or what you see is what you get. Just trying to sound slick, trying to sound intelligent. But there's nothing intelligent in it, because the devil tricked you. He gave you that saying so you can put yourself out there as if you was intelligent, but really make you look like you dumb. He deceived you. And some of y'all still being deceived to this day, using sayings that have no merit, have no value. You know what I'm saying? And when you say it, it makes yourself look dumber than what you actually felt before you used it. So don't go to repeat everything you hear people say. Research it first. Make sure it has the merit that it sounds like it does. For example, there's one piece in the Quran. It says, I'm gonna get it. Now I gotta look it up because I can't grab it. Yeah. Say not to thyself that I would not play the fool by halves. Okay? But even though I just shared it with you, I'm going to go and read it because it's a part that I'm not saying that I want to read. If I can locate it real quick. Yeah, I'm picturing it in my head. I think I got it. Inconstancy, weakness. Okay, here it is. Here it is. No, that ain't it. That ain't it. Be patient with me. Be patient. Be patient. This is real important. Okay. Nope, that ain't it. But basically, that's crazy. How you look for something and you're really overlooking it. Well, and I don't got my glasses on either, so I'm kind of mental tweaking. Mental tweaking it. There we go. Let me go through it one more time. See if I can locate it. And there was something else in here I wanted to read too, but it seemed like I just kind of like took off and never stopped to reflect, which is all good. That's crazy. I'm looking for it in a certain spot, and that ain't working out for me. Okay, wait a minute. Nope. And it's looking at me right in my face. Hold up. Okay, I'm just go off what I can recall. It says, say not. It's something about playing the fool by halves. It says something about I would not play the fool by halves. It says, say not to thyself that I will not play the fool by halves. There we go. It says, say not to thyself that thou would not play the fool by half. See, some things people say, and I guess when we say it to those who are not educated, we say, I forget how you pronounce it, rudication. But people are not well read. When they hear certain things, it sounds good. And it's natural for you to want to sound intelligent. But part of sounding intelligent is actually being intelligent. So don't waste your time trying to sound like something when you got it in you to be it. You know what I'm saying? So take your time, and when you hear something, write it down. And go read it often, over and over again. Look up the words so you can understand what that means. And you get deeper into it. The deeper you get into it, the deeper you become. You know what I'm saying? Your thoughts become deeper. You begin to see more than you seen before. Because you took time to look a word up, which educated you, or it enlightened you. You became informed. You became intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Because intelligent is, the first word is in. You know? You got to go in. You can't stay out and be intelligent because you heard something. No, you got to go into it. Because the person that created the phase that impressed you was intelligent. Don't use their stuff fraudulently. You know what I'm saying? Being a pretender. Be real. Be genuine. Be sincere with it. Okay? With that being said, family, let me close this out with the only way you're going to save your soul is to clean it up and replace everything that you didn't like, everything that you come to learn that was false, everything that you come to see wasn't real. You replace it with the truth. You replace it with realness. And have courage. You know what I'm saying? You got to have courage. Because when you go against yourself, your lower self, your indoctrinated self, your miseducated self, your ignorant self, your dumb self, your blind self, you go against everybody that you know. Because they in the same state you in. Lost. Trapped. Caught up. Undecided. In fear. In doubt. In disbelief. Some of them lied to themselves and tell themselves they know the truth. But they know in the next breath they're acting like the next person that they talked about last week. You know what I'm saying? Or they got caught up with them doing something. You know? Don't waste time with dislike. Dislike leads to hate. Everybody got flaws. If you can see a flaw in somebody, that's because it's a reflection of you, or you wouldn't be able to see it, because you wouldn't have knowledge of it. You see what I'm saying? You gotta have. The only way you can see something is to have knowledge of it. So I see with this third eye. When you can physically see anything that's within your view. It don't mean you understand it. Okay? It don't mean you mastered it. So, look deeper, because you're deep. You're a spirit. You know what I'm saying? You're a God, according to your scripture. Okay? See, that you don't know, because the preacher didn't preach on it. But you ain't supposed to just know the things the preacher preach on. Because you ain't supposed to be going to church just to learn what's in the book from the preacher. You're supposed to do your own study, your own research. You're supposed to build your own relationship with the God that's in you. Not the God you think that the preacher talking about. Because somehow you ain't connected with that God that's supposed to bring about positive changes in your life. They're supposed to bring about high vibrational moments throughout your day, because you open the door for God to come in. And when you intentionally open the door for God to come in, you got to intentionally keep that door closed where the devil trying to get in. And some of y'all don't know how to do that. That's cool. The problem is, why don't you want to learn how to keep that devil out? Why? Because that devil pleases you. It makes you feel good. It gratifies you. You know what I'm saying? It gives you immediate gratification. You know, it fulfills your pleasures. That's what the devil does. And that's sinful. You know what I'm saying? See how you got comfortable in committing sins on a daily basis? See, I know this because I got to come up out of all that. I've been fighting all that. And I'm keeping it real with myself when I deal with things that's outside of my true self. I ain't going to battle against myself. I ain't going to pull myself in both directions, trying to fulfill my pleasures and please God. Because to do that, I got to be fake with God. Which technically is a waste of time. Trying to deceive somebody when they're looking at me the whole time. Because I see myself. What sense does it make for you to continuously lie to yourself repeatedly? Just because it's fun. Just because everybody else is doing it. Because everybody else justified it. You know? Or just because you're trying to fit in and be accepted by another devil. Because ain't nothing godly about the person. They may look good. They may have what you want. But God got something greater. The Most High got something greater. So why cut yourself short and go out the less when you can go out the greater and receive whatever less with your greatness that other person had? Come on, we got to think and we can save ourselves. But we got to think outside the box. The learning, the teachings that we was raised with. This world that we live in was created by somebody else. It don't have our culture in it. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a culture that we equally and collectively come together and practice. And we should. Naturally, we're supposed to. Who altered that? And why are we accepting the fact that we are without that? Why would you accept what they call it? February, Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? It's coming down to some science in them 28 days. Okay? Because it's supposed to be 28 days in every month. Because it's supposed to be 13 months instead of 12. Okay? If you do the math, you'll balance that out to 28 days in each month. March being the first month, which is spring, which is the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Before spring, it was what? Winter. That's the end. See, if we only think and look at what we've been taught, we'll know, hold up, something ain't right about this. That's what the devil does. He alters the truth. So why you think you can come in this world and be of this world and think you standing on truth? No, it didn't work like that. Somebody taught you wrong. Wrong teachings. And it ain't the people that you're dealing with, because they going off of what they taught, what they told. We're following in a pattern that's ungodly, but they say it's God. I said we're following in a pattern that's ungodly, that they say is God. So you got to question everything that they say is God, and you got to determine, is that God? Just don't go off of what people say, because you easily be misled. That's why we're saying more signs, be what you know and not what you're told. Okay? Man can believe what others say, but thus he never knows. And if man should know, he himself must be what he know. You must be it. And that's proof right there. Because you walking the walk and you talking the talk. You know, you're practicing what you're preaching. And if you're not doing that, man, you misleading everybody. Yourself, your children. But you'll contradict yourself. You'll mislead them. And when they go and do something based on your teachings, you'll turn around and you'll correct them. When you taught them to do the very same thing. And they trying to tell you that, Daddy, I learned this from you. Mama, I learned this from you. And you'll probably whoop them for saying that. Because you come to realize they told you the truth and it hurt your feelings. Because you're not a man. You're not a woman. You're a pretender. But stop pretending. Stop finding comfort in being a pretender. Or being less of a man or less of a woman by going against your child because your child told you the truth. Now, if they said it sassy or in a disrespectful manner, you correct that manly and womanly and respectfully to that child. Now, hey, listen here, I respect what you said, but I don't respect how you said it. I'm not going to whoop you, you know what I'm saying, for how you said it. But the next time you say it in that manner, you're going to get a whooping. Or however you choose to handle it. But correct the child verbally. Give that child instruction. But give the child credit where credit is due. When you take away credit from a child, you destroy that child. And that's a lot of y'all females out there that's doing all that arguing with your man, don't want to listen. Because to argue is to not listen. You know what I'm saying? Because why oppose anybody for what they say? That's an argument in itself. I had somebody tell me in the post office, I ain't trying to argue with you, but you started by opposing what I was doing. You started the argument, but you know, verbally you're going to say you don't want to argue. Contradiction. And that's the devil, because the devil creates confusion. And that's why you got confusion in your life, because the devil is ruling your mind. Because you ain't sought the kingdom of heaven. The king over your dome. He ain't ruling. Well, there is a king, but it's the devil, and it's not the Most High. And that's what you need to correct. So if you find yourself arguing, the devil got you. You ain't supposed to be doing no arguing. I don't care how much arguing you witnessed when you came up. It's wicked, and it's influencing you in a wicked way to where you practicing the same curse that your parents handed down to you through those examples that you witnessed. So let's correct this curse, family, and let's save ourselves in order that we can save our children. Because our children, they're going to suffer like you suffer. They're going to go through the pain that you went through. And they don't deserve that. So you need to reflect back on what you went through and start focusing on yourself to avoid you doing that same thing to your child, your children. Or you're a bad parent. You're a wicked parent. You're a devil parent. Or you ain't a parent at all. You don't even deserve a title of a parent. You a No, I'm not gonna go there. If you intentionally do it, you just evil. Because you choose to be evil. You know? And you're gonna pay for that. And your child gonna be okay. Because God gonna send somebody else to influence that child the right way. You know what I'm saying? And if you interfere with that, your days on this earth plane gonna be short. You're gonna get sick, you're gonna get ill, and your ass gonna pass away so your child can be free from your BS. That's how that works. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at most parents that pass, you know what I'm saying, the things they done, and only the people that are around their parents know what was going on. And a lot of times things happen that y'all so physical that y'all don't understand why it happened. Because y'all don't understand energy. Y'all don't understand the commitment that y'all made to the devil brings about y'all pain and y'all suffering and deaths and accidents and misfortunes. And you wonder why it happened. Because you're wicked. You're evil. You're cursed. And you are continuing to live that curse. It's by your own choice. That's why Kanye West said slavery is a choice. You choose to be a slave. You choose to suffer. You choose to be in pain. You choose everything that you experience in this life. And until you stop choosing or give yourself the opportunity to say, okay, let me see if I do got this power. Let me put forth energy to go against this negativity. It's grief, it's pain, it's arguing, and all the negative things that I feel like consuming me. Let me try to do the opposite and see if that would change my life. Because people have done it many times. Over and over again. But understand, you're not going to be perfect overnight. It's a lifetime journey. And you got to understand, you got to constantly fight against evil, but you got to constantly produce the good in your life. You think it's an impossible task because you ain't done it yet. It's like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying? You want the bike first because it look good. But when you get on that bike, you come to realize, dang, this ain't as easy as I thought. But the more you stay dedicated to trying to ride and learn how to ride and deal with the falls and the bruises, or whatever you got to go through to learn how to ride this bike, that's what you went through, didn't you? It's the same way in life, fam. On a mental level. See, the bike is physical, but yet it's a mental struggle. So life is physical, but there's a mental struggle when you're dealing with life. Learn the lessons so you can deal with life better from a mental standpoint, because mentally, when you learn, you take control. So nothing can come in and influence you to go in the opposite direction that you're trying to go. So you don't have to worry about being delayed in trying to reach your objective. You know how you go to college and you can finish in 4 years, but you get distracted in the parties and you get behind on your work and your assignments and you don't pass the classes that you should have passed because you ain't put in the time and energy because you was playing, you was partying. So your 4 years turn into 5, 6, 7 years, if not 8, until you realize, hold up, let me get myself together and discipline myself and stop partying and focus on my work. You got to focus on your life, fam. And you got to learn the things you need to learn so you can pass the tests, the obstacles that's going to be in your way from the devil trying to pull you to be a part of his tribe. You know what I'm saying? And as the devil's working, you got to be working on building your heavenly tribe, that energy to fight off the devil. And you got to do that with your friends. You got to do that with your family. You got to do that with strangers. You got to do that with people around you. Fight against the devil in them. Because a lot of them are ruled by the devil. And just because they hold a certain title don't mean you're supposed to submit to what they want to do. You only submit and indulge in those things that you are about, not the things that you're not about. And sometimes you got to be willing to sever certain relationships for the sake of your own soul. Because if you don't, you're going to lose your soul. And who is worth you losing your soul for? Nobody. Not mama, not daddy, not sister, not brother, not best friend, not cousin, not uncle, not aunt. Nobody is worth you losing your soul. You got to save yourself, fam, because nobody can go against your will. And when people speak that truth, it's in your best interest to listen, take heed, follow, practice, and to make it a part of your life for the sake of your life. That's all I got to give. It ain't all. I can give some more, but that's all I'm going to give. Because I feel like it's sufficient, and I would just keep repeating myself. Okay? Family, I pray and hope that my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding has inspired, motivated, and encouraged you in some form, fashion, or another to improve an aspect, a few aspects, or every aspect of your life. You see what I'm saying? Because I want the best for you, like I want the best for myself. Okay? So, with that being said, peace, love, and happiness. Y'all have a great rest of y'all Saturday. It's beautiful out. I've been trying to get out, but this was a desire, a pleasure, and an honor for me to want to get on and share my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know, because it's a part of my growth, you know what I'm saying? And I know there's people out there that's connected and can relate with what I'm going through because they going through it. So I got to reach out and share my knowledge, wisdom, or understanding in hopes that it will help aid and assist someone else, because that's how I give my love, you know what I'm saying? You know, until I can get out here and do the things like I want to do it in the different ideals and plans that I have. You know what I'm saying? I got to go with the social media and getting out this truth, this message, this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding, you know, these teachings. Okay? So again, you have a blessed day. Keep love on your mind, because love is the savior of the world. You know what I'm saying? The truth will set you free. So keep the truth on your mind. Speak the truth. Don't tell no lies, because the lies deceive. And to deceive is to mislead. So that's what the devil does. He mislead people away from the path of truth. Is that what you want for your family? The people that you lied to? Is that what you want for the people you claim to be your friends? I can understand if you just lied to your enemy. You know, that's your enemy. You know, but to lie to your family, to lie to your friends, to lie to the people that's close to you, and what make it worse, to lie to yourself, to allow a lie to come out your mouth. Why? What are you afraid of? Because you ain't supposed to be fearing the things you fearing. The devil made you uncomfortable with the truth when you lie. Why do you give him that power? It's just a thought. Peace, love, and happiness, family. Y'all have a great one.